So I analyzed the top 4 communicators in the world, and these are 4 things that you can learn from them. Starting with the first person that I want to talk about is Pericles. So Pericles lived in Athens around 5th century BC. So I'll start with a story of what is the tactic that he used to influence and become a better communicator, and then I'll talk about the tactic and how you can implement those tactics in your day-to-day life. So let's begin with the story. So during the Peloponnesian War, Athens suffered many losses. So the Athenian army had suffered many defeats. People were grieving, and the morale that they had was very low. So at a public funeral for the fallen soldiers, so for the defeat or for the funeral of dead soldiers, Pericles gave a speech. But instead of focusing on the tragedy of the soldiers and what happened during the war, the soldiers that were killed, he praised the greatness of these soldiers. He said that soldiers died for something noble, and their sacrifices made the city stronger and more united. The key emotional line that he used in the speech was the whole earth is a tomb for heroic men or for our brave soldiers. And what resulted in this? Instead of having sadness of the people that were died during the war, those people that were gathered in the funeral, they felt motivated. They felt a surge of energy gush through them. So the tactic that he used to influence others or to become a better communicator was, first, speak to facts or speak to values, not to facts. I know this point didn't make any sense. Let me take an example to make the point stick or make the point even more easier to remember. Let's say, for example, I go to a phone shop to buy a phone, and I don't know any specifications about what type of phone I want. I just want to buy a good phone. And I go to the person who sells the phone, and he starts telling me all the specifications of the phone, like the camera is 520 pixels, the battery is 5000 mAh, it charges, you could say the screen is 1000 nits, and I don't understand shit about what he's saying. What he could do instead is that he could say, oh wow, you're a YouTuber, so this camera is effective, or this camera is like absolutely great for YouTubers. You can record in 4K video, you can record in 4K 180p 1080p pixels. This if you charge this phone at the start of the day, this phone could last for the entire day, and you don't have to charge one single time. You charge once and this phone lasts entire day. So can you understand, like, instead of speaking to facts, like this phone has 100 megapixels of camera and 5000 amperes of battery, he could have said like this phone is best for YouTubers because it records in 4K and 180p fps, and once you charge this phone, you don't have to charge the entire day and it will work absolutely fine. Speak to values, not to facts. Don't share the numbers, share the emotion, share what the person is buying. That's a tactic. Now let's go on to the second person, or the second best communicator that I found. His name is Cicero. He lived in the 1st century, and he lived in the Roman Empire, or he was a captain in the Roman Empire. So the story about Cicero goes like this. What happened was, there was a person who was plotting strategy or plotting through overthrow the government at those times. So Cicero, he found out that this person name was Catiline. He was trying to overthrow the government so that he could come into rule in the government. He could rule the government. Basically, he basically wanted a lot more power, and so he tried to overrule or overthrow the government in order to gain more power. So what Cicero did, he found out about this, and he put this matter in front of the Senate. What is a Senate? Senate is a group of people, or you could say a council, in which matters or discussions are held. So he put this in front of the Senate, and he framed it in such a way, like I would communicate it to you. He said, "How long, O Kathleen, will you abuse our patience?" I'll repeat it again. How long, O Kathleen, would you abuse our patience? So instead of saying to the Senate, of like, she did this, or she was trying to do this, she tried to overthrow the government, you see how he framed it differently? He framed it in a way, "Oh Kathleen, how long, oh Kathleen, did you abuse our patience? Will you abuse our patience?" What this resulted in? It resulted in the people in the Senate were in shock, and they tried and they removed Kathleen from her power, from her power. So the tactic that he used was, whenever communicating a message, communicate it in a dramatic way. Instead of saying this product takes a lot of time, let's take an example. Instead of saying like this product takes a lot of time, you could switch it and say, why waste hours on something or some stupid product that could be done in minutes by our product? You see that switch? Why waste hours on some stupid product when you can use our product and save hours or do it in minutes? So what this does, it creates a dramatic effect of like, why use this product? It's stupid and it wastes a lot of time. Use this. It saves a lot of time and it's much more efficient. So use dramatic effect whenever possible to communicate a point or make a point stick more. That was Cicero. Let's move on to the third person, who is Laozi. Laozi is from ancient China, and he lived in the 6th century BC. So there is no particular story about Laozi where he used the tactic, but he talked about something in his preachings and in his writings about something called as leadership and being a leader. The best leaders are those people that people hardly know exist. What? I'll repeat it again. The best leaders are those that people hardly know exist. I know it didn't make sense to me, and it might have not made sense to you as well. There's an idea that he shared to being a great leader, and I'll share it with you. Quiet influence, or being able to influence quietly, is much stronger than being able to influence with a loud authority, or the person who just speaks loudly and tells everyone to do this and do that. He's not a good leader. Good leader is someone who leads quietly, who instead of telling someone to do something or do this or do that, he first shows it to them of how do you do it, and then he tells them to do it. So the tactic that Laozi used to become a great leader or a good leader is just that use pause when you are speaking. If you want to speak more effectively, if you want to be able to influence others, or if you want people to listen to you more, to pay attention to what you are saying, use pauses. Use pause wherever you feel like it's necessary. When you feel like you want to think on something, or let's say for example, let's take this example. If someone asks you a question, what do most people do? Most of us quickly try to find an answer and quickly try to finish the question, answer it, and just get rid of the question. What Laozi teaches us, or what Laozi states, is instead of trying to quickly communicate what you want to say, instead of trying to quickly answer the question, think before you answer. Take a few minutes, not even minutes, take a few seconds to think about the question. Try to frame it in a proper sense, and then speak it in words. What this does, it makes your words that come out from your mouth more impactful, more powerful, instead of you just speaking quickly and just trying to finish your question. Next time when you have been asked a question, try this out. Pause for a few seconds. Try to think of how you could frame it in a better way, and then communicate it. So now let's move on to the fourth and the final person that I want to share in this video is Alexander the Great. So Alexander the Great lived in the 4th century BC, and the story that I want to So the story that I want to share for Alexander is, during the war, Alexander's army had to cross a very big desert, and his army was tired. People were dying of thirst, and one general came and handed him a small glass of water to him. Alexander took that glass of water and threw it away. Reason being, he came in front of the army and he told them something. He said to them, if his men cannot drink water, he should also not drink water. Or I'm framing it a little differently. He stated that if his men couldn't drink it, he would not drink it. This shook the army. A tactic that Alexander the Great used was lead by example. There are a lot of people out there who are just trying to share their message or are trying to influence other people. They don't even do it. Let's say for example, you have looked or you have come across people who just talk a lot and don't do anything. They don't put any action. They don't put any work in their thought, in their words. And you know what happened to those people? No one wants to listen to them. To become a great person or great orator or great communicator, you must lead by example. Whatever words that are coming out of your mouth must hold evidence or must hold truth for other people, so that they know that whatever you're saying is actually the truth. You're not just making words out of your mouth. You're speaking them with facts, with evidence. So another example I would take, instead of saying to others I know how to succeed, I know how to become a better communicator, you could just say, I've made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes when communicating. I've been the person who made a lot of mistakes, who was not able to communicate to the other person, who was not able to share my idea to the other person, was so shy that I couldn't even speak my ideas or speak my thoughts to them. Because of this, I was put down at the bottom. No one would listen to me, and I made a lot of mistakes. I don't want you to make those same mistakes, and so I'm sharing the lessons that I learned, the mistakes that I make with you guys, so that you don't make those mistakes. Do you see how the second thing or the second point that I shared, it hit you a lot? You wanted to listen more to the second point instead of the first of I know how to communicate and you don't have to learn anything, or I'll share everything with you. The second point made more sense. It made you feel more connected to me. So that's the tactic. Lead by example. That was the video. Hope this video helps. And if this video helped, I just have a small ask from you guys. Click on the subscribe button below, because it costs you nothing and it helps me out a lot in creating more valuable videos like this in the future. So if you like this video, click on the subscribe button, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye.